In this episode, I assess NBA expansion prospects. As of late spring 2024, the NBA consists of 30 teams, with no verified plans for expansion in the near future. I believe the NBA could eventually expand by 6 teams, for a total of 36 teams. Whether this happens or not depends mainly on the size of the association's next media rights increase. Admittedly, some of these suggested expansion markets are speculative, maybe because an adequate arena is lacking, with no announced plans for a new arena, or perhaps the suggested expansion cities have arenas that need updating to meet NBA standards. But other cities have adequate arenas already and await a new NBA tenant. In the West, Seattle anticipates the return of its Sonics, with NBA Commissioner Silver intimating the city is in the running for a new franchise. Climate Pledge Arena already hosts the NHL's Kraken, and the arena reportedly is ready to host a new NBA team. In my judgment, the return of the association to Seattle is a no-brainer, with timing contingent upon finalizing the NBA's new media rights package. Las Vegas is also likely to gain an NBA team at some point, with a number of current and proposed arenas that could host. Again, Commissioner Silver has dropped broad hints about the desirability of having a team in Las Vegas. Another market in the West deserving of a team is San Diego. The Clippers departed for the greener pastures of Los Angeles in the mid-1980s, so the only Big Four pro sports franchise left is baseball's San Diego Padres. The NBA has a history of expanding into markets with an underserved pro sports presence, but the lack of an NBA arena detracts from San Diego's chances. Underserved markets in the East guide my recommendations for expansion. First, the NBA lacks a presence in New Jersey after the Nets moved to Brooklyn. Prudential Center in Newark is not even 20 years old, and the Nets played at Prudential until a few seasons ago, departing for Brooklyn. Since the NBA is fussier about arena amenities, updates might be required to make Prudential Arena suitable. But the market is definitely there, as USA Facts cites New Jersey as the 10th largest economy in the country. The next 2 suggestions may draw some negative comments, but there is an NBA precedent for the arrangement I'm going to suggest for both markets. First, a little history lesson. The Cincinnati Royals played for more than a dozen seasons in the Queen City after moving there from Rochester, New York, in the late 1950s. After some lackluster seasons followed by modest success, the Cincinnati Royals left for Kansas City in the early 1970s. For 2 seasons, the newly renamed Kings played in both Kansas City and Omaha. Lack of attendance prompted the franchise to then play home games only in Kansas City. In the mid-1980s, the franchise pulled up stakes again and moved to Sacramento, where they remain as of late spring 2024. Although the 2-city hosting arrangement didn't work for the Kansas City-Omaha Kings, I believe it could work for a Cincinnati-Louisville franchise. The Louisville MSA is already bigger than Memphis, New Orleans, and Salt Lake City, all of which have NBA teams, and Cincinnati by itself is the 30th largest MSA. Combined, the population of the Louisville and Cincinnati MSAs is nearly 3.6 million, somewhere between Minneapolis-St. Paul and Tampa-St. Pete. Louisville's KFC Yum Arena is only about 15 years old and holds more than 22,000 for basketball and could split home games with Cincinnati, which is in the beginning stages of planning a new arena. Cincinnati and Louisville are only about 100 miles apart, and selling 20-game season ticket packages might be easier than selling 40-game season ticket packages given the size of each market. The same applies to the St. Louis and Kansas City markets. The combined MSA populations of those two markets exceeds 5 million, putting it between Boston and Phoenix. Alone, each city might have a challenge selling 40-game season ticket packages, given the presence of other pro franchises. But both cities probably could swing selling 20-game packages. The T-Mobile Center in Kansas City can hold nearly 19,000 for basketball and may need some renovations, since it's 17 years old in 2024. The Enterprise Center in St. Louis is 30 years old in 2024, but can hold about 22,000 for basketball. The NBA would almost certainly demand renovations before awarding a franchise, even if only 20 or so home games were played there. So, to summarize, my suggested NBA expansion markets are Seattle, Las Vegas, San Diego, South New Jersey near New York City, a combined Cincinnati-Louisville franchise, and a combined St. Louis-Kansas City franchise. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and be sure to check out other segments on the Saturday Sportsline Memories channel, such as the future of the UFL, college football's greatest interstate rivalries, and early 1980s interviews with sporting figures such as Major League Baseball's Jim Bouton, NFL great Gale Sayers, NFL coach George Allen, and announcers Harry Carey, Dick Enberg, Chris Schinkel, and Johnny Most. That's a brief look at the 6 best NBA expansion markets on Saturday Sportsline Memories. Hit the like button and subscribe.